Said Salman, the Senior Assistant Registrar, Yaba College of Technology, to Close Flow and to your homes. You're welcome to Close Flow.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you very much.
Now, in my preface, I did say that the pious month of Ramadan is over. All of us, we have, well, some of us, we joined you in observing the Ramadan, to enrich the faithfuls with spiritual reflection, self-improvement, heightened devotion, and sincere worship. Ustaid, are we sure we can see all these values in the way that Nigeria is either being managed now or the way we have managed our affairs up to this point? All these values that Ramadan should impart on our lives, are we sure we can see all these things?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We thank Allah for giving us this opportunity to meet via this platform today. We beseech Him to shower His blessing on the noblest of all mankind, His household, companions, and progenies, and those who follow His path till the day of judgment.
Amen.
Our viewers at home, I greet you with the best mode of greeting by saying, may the peace and blessing of Allah abide in you all.
Ameen. I'm sure they're saying Ameen from there.
Yes.
Good.
Starting from the question, Ramadan is a key word in that question. Ramadan, as you have rightly put, is a pious month, a month in which we are expected to learn many things to reform ourselves individually, to reform our society, then to reform our nation. Ramadan as an institution, and the popular statement is that if you pass through an institution, allow the institution to pass through you. That's the...
Please, say that again, for the benefit of our viewers. If you pass through
an institution,
yes,
allow the institution to pass through you. At the end of the month of Ramadan, you should be able to evaluate yourself. Having gone through 29 or 30 days spiritual activities, have I really benefited from it? If yes, what have I benefited from the month? These are questions that are begging for answers. Let me start by saying that the first lesson that is of high paramount in everything we do is spiritual lessons. Because if you look at the world today, all in the name of civilization, intellectualism, and what have you, we have in a way cut ourselves from our Creator.
We'll come to that because machine learning is coming our way. It's part of our discussion. But go ahead.
Irrespective of what you might have been endowed with, we have source. And that source is our Creator. Whether you believe in the existence of Supreme Being or not, nobody has ever claimed that I'm the one who created you except that Creator. But in most cases, the way we do things, we act on our service as if we created ourselves. We are the owner of ourselves.
And we ask people to own ourselves.
Yeah, we can do and undo, which is very wrong. In the Holy Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called our attention to two things. The first one is that human beings were made up of two things. The first one is our body. And the second one is our soul. And the soul is the most important part of our body. But if you look at us today, we give more attention to the body. More attention to the body. In Surah Shams, verse 7 to 10, Allah says, وَنَفْسٍ وَمَا سَوَّاهَا, by the soul and the Lord who created that soul. فَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا, and taught that soul two things. The first one, when the soul is doing right thing, it will definitely know that I'm doing right thing.
And when it's doing the wrong thing,
it will definitely know that I'm doing the wrong thing. It now says, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا, indeed is prosperous whoever cleanses that soul from inordinate wrongdoing. وَقَدْ خَابَ مَنْ دَسَّاهَا, and is doomed whoever allows corruption, sins, to corrupt that soul. So this is to tell us that spiritual lessons, spiritual activities is of high paramount in everything we do. If we are okay spiritually, I'm not talking about being religious now. The question will be, some people are religious and yet they are not doing what is better of them. In Nigeria, to a large extent, we are religious.
Highly religious.
In most cases, we are not God.
Yes.
We are not
They're
godly.
not godly.
Yeah.
Okay, I like what you have said so far. I think our viewers are already, they are already properly profiled to know that what you are talking about are spiritual depth, and that's what Ramadan should actually impact on how we govern ourselves. Now, let me come back to the heart of the matter, because you were quoting from the Holy Book.
Yes.
Yes, so let's go back to the Holy Book. The Holy Book says that jihad is to strive and to struggle, to smile in tough times, to be patient in hard times, to struggle for the good of all, to take care of old parents in a loving way, to find the heart to forgive others. That's what the Holy Book says.
Yes. You're right.
But can you help us connect all these things, all these values, all these humane values with what we know about jihad?
That's a beautiful question. You know, when you say jihad, it's an Arabic word. And I have to be very sincere with you. One of the words that non-Muslim misconstrue in Islam, jihad is one of it. Because when you see someone talking about jihad, you'll be reading books written by the Orientalists. And the Orientalists, for those who studied them, they are not for Islam, they are against Islam. So if you want to know about Islam, you want to read about Islam, read the Quran, and read the traditions of the Prophet ﷺ, and read the scriptures, the books written by medieval scholars and contemporary Muslim scholars. So let me start from there.
Yes.
When you mention the word jihad, what does it mean linguistically? It simply means striving. Striving against evil machination of our soul. Striving against evil in the society. Striving against corruption.
That's what jihad actually means.
That is jihad. That is starting point. You know, when you talk about, carrying the Patriot missile and what have you, that is the last resort. Because in the world at large, you must defend whatever you have. So in Islam, when you say jihad, it starts from you as an individual. How are you taking care of your soul? You know, the soul by the nature.
Primarily.
The soul by the nature will, advise you at times. At times it will lure you to engage in what is not good. So in order to put that jihad into practice, you strive against that soul with its evil machination. Okay, this is money for these projects. If you can embezzle the money, nobody will query you. You know, that is a wrong advice from the soul. If truly you are putting jihad into practice, you do what? You strive against that soul from embezzling the money that does not belong to you. Prophet, when he described a mujahid, he said, El mujahid, someone we can refer to as mujahid, that is warrior now, is man jahada awa. It is the person who strives against his evil dictates of soul.
Yes.
You understand? We all have all this in our mind. So if truly you want to use that jihad, you start from your soul. Then also, today some people, when they are talking about religion, knowledge matters a lot. Irrespective of your religion, whether Islam or Christianity. If you look at some of the adherents of this religion, they don't have knowledge about that religion. In Islam, your jihad starts from
you.
Learn about what you are doing.
It's amazing.
Learn about what you are doing.
But are you happy, therefore, from what we have discussed so far, are you happy when we see adherents, the so-called adherents of let's say the two popular religions in Nigeria, when we see the way they carry on, the level of religiosity as opposed to responsibility? How do you now respond?
Of course, one will be disappointed. One will be disappointed, and at the same time, we have to be very factual with ourselves. Some of the religious leaders as well are not helping the situation.
They are not laying good examples.
They are not laying good examples. For example, now, you sermonizing your audience and looking at what you are saying critically is totally out of the scripture. Maybe you are using your own
interpretation.
So automatically, someone who can think out of the box would definitely want to, say, what is this?
Yes.
And at the end of the day, he will be tagged. He will be tagged, are you an atheist? Are you going against the instruction of God and what have you? So, jihad in Islam, you need to have knowledge. Prophet ﷺ said, لا تكونوا إماعة. Don't be a yes man person.
Wow.
Whenever you are called upon, you are there. He said, when people say you want to be good, be good. When people decide not to be good, don't join them. Don't join them. That's another area of jihad. Then you have learned. Knowledge is another thing entirely. To put that knowledge into practice is another thing entirely. It's another thing entirely. So knowledge and action matters a lot in Islam. There is a chapter in the Quran. It may interest you to know that one of the scholars, when it was talking about the chapter, it's just 3 verses. We call it the chapter of time. The Creator says, "Well answered by the time. Innal insana lafi khusr." All human beings shall be in a state of loss. Let's look the world at large. Economically, where are we?
Socially.
Socially, where are we?
Historically.
Morally, where are we? We deceive ourselves to achieve yours. You cheat other people
To promote yourself.
to promote yourself. So you can perceive the loss. But the Creator now says that there are some set of people who can possess the 4 qualities I want to mention. If you have the 4 qualities, you will be protected from this loss. What is the first one? إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. Those who believe in that supreme being. You know, today we talk about we believe in God and whatever.
Yes, and you open your mouth and speak it.
You know, for example, let me give you an instance in the Quran. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala profiled us, something that when you proclaim that I believe in God, that says you are a believer. No.
Does not.
No. There are many things we say, but internally we have another thing in our mind. You know? Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. Naam. I believe in God. I believe in God. You don't just say it, not by mere utterances. It should be well entrenched in your heart, and your actions are now confirming that truly this person believes in God. Then,
Brilliant. No, sorry, you're going to say 4 things, but before you say 4 things, the father of Islam says that the ink of the scholar, and you are behaving like a scholar here, true scholar here, the ink of the scholar is more sacred than the blood of the matter.
okay, you want me to talk on it?
Yes, please.
Okay, you know, this is one of those things we started our discussion with. There are many statements ascribed to Islam, and Islam is far from it. You know, in Islam, when you say tradition of the Prophet, that is hadith.
Yes.
There are some hadiths we refer to them as fabricated. Not from the horse's mouth.
Over time.
That is the more reason why you don't just talk in Islam, you learn.
You really have to study.
You have to study. If you don't do that, you commit more atrocities. That statement is never part of the saying of the Prophet. It was from a scholar, not from the Prophet.
Meanwhile, it's been ascribed to the Prophet.
Yes, which is wrong. So in order to establish the fact
Yes.
that scholars, you must respect them.
Yes.
Scholars, they have position in the society,
Yes.
in religion,
Yes.
to the extent that, you know, in the Quran, the first chapter to be revealed talks about reading. Then after that, we have a chapter named Surah Al-Qalam, a chapter talking about pen. What does pen symbolize? It symbolizes writing. That is to tell us that, you know, knowledge matters a lot in Islam. To the extent that Prophet Muhammad said, "Talabul ilmi faridu ala kulli muslimin." Seeking for knowledge, it is incumbent on all Muslims. Whether you are a female or you are a male, it is incumbent on you.
Wow.
And we are not talking about knowledge of how to perform ablution here. Whether economics, whether science, medicine and surgery, and what have you. So far it is knowledge, and it is beneficial to humanity. It is incumbent on you to learn about it, to pursue it. Even it may interest you to know that there is another popular statement that during that time of the Prophet, it said, seek for knowledge.
Yes.
Even if you are able to get the knowledge in China, then China was, you know, very far.
Yes. Yes. So that is a lot of trouble, a lot of struggle to go and get the knowledge from there.
That is to accentuate the fact that knowledge is of high paramount in everything you do, especially this religion of ours.
Okay, now you were going to speak about 4 things.
Yes.
You spoke only about
Yes.
1. So
The
can we
first
have the
one-
3? Yes.
Yes, the first one is al-iman, to believe in God. Believe, that is the real meaning of belief. You know, if you have that belief, everything, you know, you will see the reflection and the positive impact of that belief in everything you
You
do.
do.
As an individual, your relationship with your children, it will be perceived. Your relationship with your wife, it will be perceived. In the office, your relationship with other
Co-workers.
colleagues, it will be perceived. If at the end of the day, you are in a public office, chairman, councillor, what's it called, commissioner, governor,
Senior
president,
registrar.
senior assistant registrar,
Yes.
president, at the end of the day, you won't just be there as if you are not accountable to anybody. If you are not accountable to anybody in this world, definitely you'll be accountable to your creator. That is belief in summary. Then the second one is al-amal as-salih, righteous deeds. To believe is another thing entirely. Righteous deeds matters
So
a lot.
your activities also matter.
Of course. Some people believe that act of worship is restricted to the four wall of
The mosque.
place of worship,
Yes.
mosque.
Whereas,
Whereas in Islam, it goes beyond that. In an office, you are stealing money. What is the essence of that, your belief? You are given a particular lump sum of money to carry out a particular project, and you put it in, you pocket the money. What is the essence of that, your belief? You are just deceiving the whole world, and you are deceiving yourself. Then, the third one is el-haq. Be truthful in everything you are doing.
wow.
Be truthful in everything you are doing.
So no space for lies.
No.
space for
Even it may interest you to know that Prophet said, "Qul al-haqq," always say the truth. وَلَوْ كَانَ مُرًّا, even if it is sour. أَوْ عَلَى نَفْسِكَ, or that truth is against you. Say it. Say it, don't conceal it. If you conceal it in this world,
you cannot.
you are also, you have friends, sons, and what have you, very smart and what have you, you are able to cover it in this world. In the world to come, it's not possible. You can't.
So we are back to the fact that we are going to be answerable to the.
Of course. I believe one thing, if you think of this, that the final is not on earth service. After this world, there is another world.
Yes.
I think to a large extent, that will assist us in rethinking in whatever you are doing.
Either as a citizen or as a leader.
Of course. At times we complain about our leaders.
Yes.
I'm not saying our leaders are secret, but if you look at the led
Ourselves,
at times,
yes.
we are worse than the leaders. If you have the opportunity they have, we will commit more than what they are doing.
By the way we are behaving now.
Yeah.
Okay, the
And
fourth
last
one.
The fourth
Yes.
one is to exercise patience. You can never achieve anything in this world without. Look at you now. You are talking. If someone asks you now, since when have you been in this profession? Maybe you're talking about 25, 30 years, 40 years. Someone who just started now thinking that I want to get there in 2 weeks. No, you are deceiving yourself. You have to be patient in everything you do. And also, at times, when you complain about our leaders, I do advise also, let's be patient with our leaders. Let's be patient with them. And let's assist them in our supplication. Because if you are not in leadership post, you may not be able to understand some things.
Yes.
So that's why you have to be more patient with them. Then we assist them in supplication. You don't curse your leader. Because if you continue cursing
good
them,
to come out of him.
if you continue cursing, automatically that curse will have negative impact on him or her. Instead of him to act positively to you, you have cursed him. Automatically, the response will be negative.
Okay, I'm trying to see if I can be as scholarly as you are, especially when it comes to looking at the Holy Book. Every new breath that the Creator gives us is not just a blessing, it's also regarded as a responsibility. Yet, Nigeria, that is seen by the whole world to be a land full of huge, immense opportunities. Some people say humongous opportunities because you cannot seem to count the treasures available in Nigeria. So, are you saying that we are becoming irresponsible if Nigeria is still like this?
Let me start by saying that, there is this cause and effect. For you that you are older than some of us, if you can think back,
Yes.
the enjoyment you've had in this nation, you will never believe that this is Nigeria.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now coming to us, we will never believe that this is Nigeria.
that we were born into.
Yes, many countries that, we read that, they were following Nigeria in everything. But today, Nigeria is running after them. Dubai is just a good example.
Dubai was there to borrow money.
Yeah. But in the Holy Quran, Allah calls our attention to some salient things, which I think we all need to think about it. There had been a time in Nigeria that we all know that we were enjoying. But how did we appreciate that favor? How? In the Holy Quran, Quran 16 verse 112, Allah made it clear that there was a country, there was a town endowed with everything.
And yet,
resources, human resources, material resources, and what have you. Instead of them to thank God for
what they have, yes.
They disbelieve in this favor. They waste time, they waste
wasted
resources, everything. This is an
that's
action.
typically what Nigeria is.
This is an action from them. Automatically, there should be a result.
Yes.
And the result is that they were maltreated with hunger. Is there anybody who can say, I'm
You are being
okay?
prophetic now.
I'm just quoting from the scripture.
Yeah, but obviously, because that hunger is on the streets.
Of course, because, our Creator who knows us, whatever He says will definitely come to pass. That's why I said, you don't think that you are the one who created yourself. You have a source. In
And
Islam,
you're going to return to that.
Of course, in Islam, if someone dies now, what do
Yes.
you say? Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. From Him we come,
For him, you return.
to Him we return. So that's the first one, hunger. Nobody can say in this country of us that you are not feeling pangs of hunger. Then we have 3 square meals.
Yes.
But today I doubt
How many families?
how many families can afford that 3 square meal. Some, they have, they have that formula for them. Maybe 011 or 101. Then al-khawf, fear. There's another one, fear. Today we're talking about insecurity,
Everywhere.
banditry, and what have you, kidnapping, and what have you. Whenever we are trying to provide solution to Nigerian problem, at times we abandon our Creator. I always say that. I am military. Why am military? And what are they doing? And what have you? Let's start from our Creator. Do we really believe in God? We have religious centers.
All over the place.
What
yes.
exactly are we doing there? We need to ask ourselves, what exactly are we doing there?
You are not speaking about just Islam now. You're
No,
saying
no,
religious centers everywhere.
I'm talking generally
Yes.
now. What exactly are we doing there?
When even on the street can have about 10 churches.
Of course. So, but Allah says that if you can believe in Him and you can be heedful to His injunctions, definitely He will assist you with favors from heaven. But are we ready? Am I ready? Are you ready to return to our Creator? For example, many of us that we read, in the humanities, we read sociology,
Yes.
we read psychology and what have you, according to Sigmund Freud, according to what have you. All these people were human beings. Their intellect have limits. There is little to what they can prefer. But let's go back to our Creator. Let's go back to our Creator. When we are talking about Nigerian problem, in most cases, we don't really talk about our origin, our source,
Yeah.
which is of high paramount.
Okay, well, I like that. I like that. So let me come back to your own 40. You are senior assistant registrar, okay, at Yaba College of Czech, one of Nigeria's premier, educational institution. There is a trending argument that we need to revamp our educational curriculum, okay, in the country, making studies of other Nigerian languages as well as history and civics compulsory right from primary school. How do you react to that? Do you think that will redefine all these issues we are talking about here?
I quite agree with that. For example, people like Professor Babs Fafunwa,
Yes.
in his book History of Education. The man has talked about this extensively. And I could remember during our own time we read moral instruction, social studies, and
that really formed who you are.
Yes, and history. But look at many of our children today. They don't know their past. If you don't know your past, how do you think you can know? No, present. Your presence, you can't do it. Automatically, you cannot define your future. And if you look at some of our challenges that, should I say we are chauvinistic in nature. we prefer what comes from outside to what we have here. And I must be very sincere, we are endowed with many things. But you know, as a Nigerian, if you cannot speak English language now, how do you think they will be looking at you? This is a local man, this is a local man. When you talk about Yoruba language, to the extent that someone with tribal mark, maybe a security man, when you get to his post, instead of him to speak to you, you are from Oyo State now, I'm from Oyo State now, they will start speaking English language. You can see, so I totally agree with those who assert that all those courses should be returned to curriculum. It will really assist us. Even the history of education we are learning today, what exactly do we really know about that education? You know, talking about Yabatek, and what have you, we need to know
go back.
Then also, we can say because we want our children to be educated, to now take away God from that education. It will never be beneficial. It may interest you to know.
We'll come back to that because my producers are saying that our viewers are like bombarding them with questions, so we're going to take a break and then we'll come back. Again, let me quickly just say that the numbers you're going to call, please don't let's mix this up. It's very important because you can experience drop calls if you're using voice call. So the two numbers are this. For your voice, use 080 597 53044. 080 597 53044. That is for your voice call. For your SMS, use 080 63508434. 080 63508434. Please, let's obliged by using those numbers as we have stated. We're going to be back shortly. When we come back, he has said to us that education without God may not actually provide solution for us, but we are looking at robotics. We will come back to that. So stay with us.
They have cataract, look at the back of their eyes, they have glaucoma, you know, we do a full workup for them.
You will remember
a lot of our government should actually open their eyes, especially southwest of the state.
We're going to be looking deeper than we ever looked in before to ensure that we close all the loopholes.
It manifests as physical symptoms.
Every edition is an arresting conversation with distinguished Nigerians from various strata of the society, bearing their minds on how we can realize the Nigeria of our dreams. Join us live on Close Flow, Monday, every week here on NTA2 Lagos Network Center. Close Flow. The conversation is about you.
Thank you for staying with us. Quickly again, the numbers for you to reach us. For your voice call, please 080-5975-3044. Then for your SMS, please send your messages to 080-6350-8434. Because Ustad is here and is ready to answer all your queries and your questions and your comments and some of the demands that you may want from him. Now, Ustad, in life, problems, differences, arguments, misunderstanding, they can occur even amongst brothers, in families, in communities, amongst colleagues and all that. But when we are looking at it on the national scale across the country, why does it always end up in violence? Why must we express our differences violently? Why?
Okay, that's a beautiful question. You know, by the way our Creator created us, even the identical twin,
yes,
they are not the same thing in everything. The way we think differs. The way we view things differs.
Perception.
Our perception differs. So automatically when we have such, we must understand the fact that it is not possible that I view things the way you view it. All we need to do is, one, let's accommodate ourselves. Let's accommodate ourselves. You know, I'm talking from what I learned in Islam. Because there is a jurisprudence in Islam, we call it fiqhul ikhtilaf, understanding how to differ.
understanding
how to differ.
Wow.
Whether with your Muslim brothers
Or
any other person. We must understand the fact that our Creator created us differently.
uniquely.
Of course, I can never think the way you are thinking. And I can never perceive things the way you are perceiving. If that is there, I should be ready to learn from you.
And then
You should be ready to learn from me. Then, importance of dialogue. And when you are talking about dialogue, dialogue has its own etiquettes.
rules.
Yeah, rules and regulation that guide it. Let's start from, okay, this dialogue, what exactly do we intend to achieve? We want to solve a problem. The problem is problem to me. It's problem to you as well. So, in our discussion, we want to arrive at a solution that will assist us in nipping it in bud. So if you have that intention, automatically, I will not be there to show that I'm better than you intellectually, I'm better than you economically, and what have you. You know, whenever you are trying to show that you are better than me,
In any way.
I will never succumb. I will, because you are not the one paying my salary, I will never succumb to you. So you have your opinion, I have my opinion. So let's get on our own way. So that's another thing we must understand. Allah, who created us, made it clear that we are not the same thing. You are all unique entity. So just learn to accommodate.
So again, let's bring this back home again. So educationally, if this has been taught, if it has been ingrained, if it has been shared, if it has been part of our makeup, that means we can actually create a national character out of.
Of course, but you know, talking about this education of a thing, you know, at times, you know, when you say education, they will tell us the meaning of education at times is indoctrination. If you look at some of the so-called education today, is it learning or indoctrination? You know, some of our students today, even some professionals, they cannot think out of the box. It may interest you that, you know, some people were complaining that I graduated from a particular school, 1974. Just an example.
Yes.
My child is there now, 2021,
And
same lecturer that taught him as well. Everything the lecturer taught me, that is what is teaching my child as well. How do you expect that something tangible, something spectacular from that type of education? So that's another thing we would need to look at.
okay, well, that means that Nigeria's problems are multifaceted. Okay.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay.
Exactly.
So, but let me come to something that again that is trending, and that is the next revolution, because now the whole world is changing.
Exactly.
Okay. So we are saying now that we are looking at machine learning, we are looking at robotics, we are looking at artificial intelligence. Yeah. Do you think our religious faith will let us exploit all these opportunities we are talking about? Do you think we have the right disposition to all these things?
Of course. You know, I really appreciate the fact that, you know, we started from knowledge matters in everything you are doing. Knowledge matters in everything you are doing. You know, with knowledge, you know your limits. You know what you can do, and you know what you cannot do. You know, talking about artificial intelligence, robotics, and what have you. Not those areas. You know, we talk about today. We talk about native intelligence and all those intelligence and what have you.
Emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
Yes.
Islam does not say that these things are not allowed. But if we look at these things we are talking about, they have their limitations as well. You know, the issue of moral questions and what have you. But in spite of that, those that are beneficial in those areas, we are encouraged to learn from those things, to make use of those things, to ease our life. To ease our life, in as much you are not denying the existence of our Creator, you are not inflicting any harm on anybody, just to make things easy for yourself.
Yes.
So it is allowed. I can remember I attended a program, and a professor in, I think, University of Mina, Professor Musa Ibino, he came there to discuss artificial intelligence. And you know, if you listen to the way the professor was talking, you really appreciate it. So, and everything, you know, was welcomed by the audience, except for those areas that, you know, how do we solve this area? So, and we say, okay, let's leave this area. But the benefits are more than the evil. So let's leverage on the benefits.
Okay, while we are leveraging on the benefits, I also want to find out from your side, what do we do about multi-planetary citizenship. Multi-planetary citizenship. People are already looking at going to Mars to live when we have not solved the problem on Earth.
That's another challenge of knowledge without God. I have to be very factual because I thank God I've read little things about what you're talking about. Even our earth.
Yeah.
What exactly have we really achieved on the earth? To me, we have,
Corrupted.
The earth has been corrupted. Automatically, when you get there as well, you apply same thing to that area. Let's take care of this earth first. The instruction given to us by God is that "La tufsidu fil ard." Do not perpetrate evil on earth service. And when you talk about evil, pollution is part of it. Noise pollution,
Yes.
environmental pollution, and what have you. So all these things should be taught in religion as well. You won't just restrict anything that is religion to mosque or other places of worship. So that is my take on that.
Okay, all right. It has been claimed that both ethnic and religious intolerances have killed the spirit of nationalism in Nigeria. Can that be true? You think we can?
In a way. But at the same time, we'll still go back to, when you talk about ethnic challenge and what have you, it's either from the Muslims or the Christians.
Yes.
Then ask them, what does your religion say about ethnicity? What does your religion say about tribalism? For example, in my own religion. Prophet Muhammad said, "Laisa minna man da'a ila asabi." Whoever invites to tribalism is never part of us.
Really?
Of course. وَمَنْ قَاتَلَ عَلَى عَصَبِيَّةٍ. Whoever fights on tribalism is never part of us. You may claim to be an Alaji. You may claim to be an Alaja.
But Ustad, some of these things are not taught or shared with the
I want to believe that some of these things have been taught, but people would decide
rather,
at
yes,
times,
yes,
would decide at times
to
not
ignore
to abide by those things. And I must tell you, whenever you fail to abide by the instruction given by God, you may be thinking that you are thriving. At the end of the day, you won't enjoy yourself. You won't enjoy yourself.
Well, I hope our viewers are getting some depth from this. Now, but the next thing here is this. True Islam says loyalty to the country that one lives is very, very, very important. So abiding by the laws of the country and serving the people and the community. So how do we justify Boko Haram?
Okay. Boko Haram, we are all Nigerians. Boko Haram just started by saying that the meaning of Boko Haram is Western education
is forbidden.
Is forbidden. From all I've been saying now, you can see the content of the Quran. So if anybody claims to be Muslim, killing your Muslim brothers, killing non-Muslims, you need to ask the person the question, where have you gotten yours? Where have you gotten yours? So Boko Haram is alien to Islam. That still boils to the fact that you'll be talking about the international conspiracy and what have you. But I don't like, talking about conspiracy whenever we are analyzing our challenge. Because there are some things. There are some things that if you do those things, perhaps they won't have such opportunity. But because we have abandoned our own duties, responsibilities that give opportunity to some of these elements in the society. So Boko Haram is alien to Islam. Islam does not know anything about Boko Haram or whatever.
Great. Now, would you agree with the statement that education? Well, you have almost capture that. Maybe I just want to go back again and see how that can help us redefine nation building. That education is the most powerful weapon which we can use to change our world.
Yes, of course. When you say education, you're talking about knowledge.
Which you said before.
Of
that's
course.
How you started this conversation.
When you talk about knowledge, you're talking about exposure. You're talking about information. If you're not informed, you'll be deformed. If you're not even, you'll be deformed.
That seems to be the story of Nigeria right now.
Of course. Even someone who claims to be a religionist, if you are not informing that
properly,
religion,
yes,
automatically you'll be doing what is totally alien to that religion. So I quite agree with the statement.
Again, here is another one. They say quality is never an accident. It is always the result of intelligent effort. And you are showing some quality here in trying to let us understand how to build our nation. So, ignorance, therefore, should not be part of our makeup as a nation.
Yes.
But look at the ratio of literates and illiterates, the ratio of, well, we have even given us an example, the ratio of turnout in academics, and so are we therefore on the right path?
I would like to talk in addressing this issue from two areas, individually and even our family.
Even as a family life?
Yeah, if you look at the family now, the cohesion is not there. The parents are not doing what is expected of them. There is what we refer to as the outsourcing. Some of the parents have outsourced their role to the teachers, malams in the Arabic school and what have you. So individually, we need to equip ourselves. Then also, family, we really need to take good care of our children. You talk about child upbringing. Charity begins at home. But, in most of our things today, charity begins on social media. Many of those people read on social media, they even believe in it more than what we have in scriptures. Many of our children today, they learn many things via social media. Whereas we are the parents who are supposed to be role models to these children in everything they are doing. And human being is a byproduct of nature and nurture.
Nature and nurture.
So
nature has given you life. Now are you nurturing it?
Environment, the parents, the school, the nation as a whole. So product of nature and nurture.
Okay. We are still waiting for those calls from you so that you can be a part of this conversation with his side. He has said so much here, and I think I'm enjoying the profound exposure is given to what we're looking at here. Now, earlier on, you have said something about what we can do in terms of the knowledge that we gain and how we can let that impact, on the nation. Now, let's look at the quality of citizenship in Nigeria. What can you really say about Nigerians as responsible citizens? Let's leave the leaders, the people let's leave those ones first. How about us, you and I, for instance?
I may be wrong, but my comment or my statement will just be, even with the leads, we are worse than the leaders. Very corny, not straightforward, corrupt. Because if you have the opportunity some of the leaders have, you will be more corrupt than them.
That's the kind of disposition we have.
Yes.
As citizens.
Yes. We are not ruling out the fact that we still have some good citizens, but when the number of bad people outnumber the number of the good ones, you won't say that we are living fine. We are not living fine.
Nigerians, please, let's join this conversation because he is giving you a responsibility. You are a citizen of Nigeria, you are a voter, and that instead is saying maybe you are defining what your leaders are turning out to be. So the number again, 080-5975-3044. That is for you to make your voice call. 080-5975-53-044. Then we have for your SMS 080-6350-8434. For your SMS 080-6350-8434. Please join us so that you can help Style to also probably review some of the things he said and see how we can actually get to the best that we can be. Now, a lot has been said about the prospects of what Nigeria should be. I'm saying from your own childhood to now, are you seeing those prospects coming to reality? Is anything at all on the horizon, or even well, I know you don't look at horoscope, but I mean, are you seeing anything in the that is saying to us that all these huge stories about the potentials in Nigeria, are you seeing anything manifesting?
In religion, I'm talking about Islam, there is what we refer to as despair.
You lose hope. You become totally hopeless.
Yeah, in Islam we are taught not to lose hope. I still believe so much in this country. I have to be very sincere with you.
Please speak to yes.
I still believe so much in this country. Because when you think that the country is over, you observe that there are some good elements in this country. Today's you'll be so in this Nigeria, we can have someone like you. That is to tell us that Nigeria is still going to be great.
Nigeria's not yet finished.
Of course, that's my own belief. So that's the more reason why whenever you are praying, individually or collectively, always remember Nigeria in your supplication. You know, there is a country, America in particular, they always pray for that country. You understand?
Yes.
So why is
in
it that
every statement?
Yeah, why is it that we curse Nigeria? Why? Though things are not going the way we want it, the way we like it, but in spite of that, curse should not be, Nigerians' portion from us. So I believe so much that this country will still be great. That's my own take. Islam taught us not to, despair, irrespective of the situation you find yourself. Because the problem started on a particular thing, automatically it will leave. It will leave.
So we should not be hopeless.
Of course. That's my...
Now let's come back to the next agenda, which is selecting leaders. The capacity or the ability of the citizens to go and say, okay, we are voting for this, we are voting for that, and this is a person that will represent us and all that. So what are we doing about that space? Are we re-educating the citizens to actually play the role they're supposed to play? Are we providing the right environment for them to play that role?
Some people are doing it, and I have to be very sincere, some people are not doing it. If you listen to some of the lectures by religious leaders and what have you, instead of them, to tell us what should be the qualities expected of a leader, a good leader, rather they are more of tribalistic. They are more of religious bigotry at times when they talk. I'm not referring to
any particular. Yes.
I'm talking about religion as a whole. For example, in Islam, if you want to cast a vote, we are taught that that vote is a witness against you or for you.
Oh, please say that again.
Casting vote in Islam is
Yes.
either is a witness against you
Or
or
for you.
you in the day of judgment. Can you defend the personality you voted for or you vote for? Okay, I'm voting for this person.
Because I believe in his capacity.
I believe in his capacity, intellectually, morally, and what have you. And I believe he can do it. That's why I'm casting my vote for the person. Can you defend that in front of your creator? That's the first thing.
Wow.
Voting is a shahada. It's witnessing.
Really?
And it's either against you or for you.
That's interesting.
Of course, that is what we are taught in Islam. You don't just go there and cast your vote. No. You should be able to answer the question. Oh, bro, why did you vote for this?
Hello?
This person?
Hello? I think we have a caller. Hello? Can you hear us? Oh, we lost him. Okay, all right. Please go ahead. So that is what you're taught. Okay, that's one.
That's number one. Then as leaders, there are some qualities. There are some natural traits that is given by our creator. Popularly, people just say that's a gift of nature. Then talking about knowledge, intellectual capacity, then, the strength to dialogue, the strength, to be a visionary leader. And if you don't have the right knowledge, do you think you can be a visionary leader? It's not possible. Because your exposure allows you to view
project
things from afar. So all this will be considered in anybody you want to cast your vote for. So that at the end of the day, you can say that I did
The
this
right thing.
out of conviction. And I can stand by it. I can defend it anywhere, any day. So that is what we are taught in Islam. Then, there are some things we are not expected a leader to have. We talk about nepotism.
Yes.
We talk about tribalism.
Yes.
So, it's not what is expected of a good leader. So if you are a leader, you see everybody as yours. Because in the day of judgment,
You keep emphasizing that.
I always refer to that. When you invited me as a Muslim scholar, not as a political analyst, not as a social linguist,
Yes.
a linguist or what have you, as a Muslim scholar. On the day of the day, you'll be asked the question, why are you partial? Is it because this person is not from your tribe?
Or it's not a Muslim?
It's not a Muslim because he's a Christian? All these questions you'll be asked. Or because this person belongs to your club, you are in the same club, so whatever he does, you just look other
That's
way.
right.
So these are questions.
Great, Ustaid. We can't have more from you. It's a pity we are having challenges again with the incoming calls. We'd like to apologize to all our viewers who have tried to reach us. We're going to post this, of course, on our social media handles. So whatever it is that you want to ask Ustaid, you can also go there and then see that you actually post, your questions and your comments. Maybe you'll be able to, respond to that. So, Said, I want to thank you again for coming on the show.
Thanks so much.
It's been a great time, with you. There'll be a profound, explanations of some of the things we're trying to do. Please, what's your last word to Nigerians, anyway?
Okay, my last word is that, we've just concluded Ramadan.
Yes.
Spiritual lessons from Ramadan, take it serious. Moral lessons from Ramadan, take it serious. Social lessons from Ramadan, take it serious. And also, educational lessons from Ramadan, take it serious. And finally, peaceful coexistence. Irrespective of our religion, irrespective of our affiliations. Peaceful coexistence. It is natural to differ, but learn how to solve that differences among ourselves.
Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. We hope to call you again to come and share some time with us. Maybe this time we'll not be looking at Ramadan. We'll be looking at something else entirely.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. For our viewers, I want to thank you again also for being part of the conversation. Like we said, that's a distinguished Nigerian there sharing his own impressions. And, he still believes so much in Nigeria. He's very optimistic that this country is still going to be one of the greatest on the face of the earth. So your own role and my role, in making sure that comes to be is what Said has spoken about here today. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.